If you guys didn't know, the Saber plugin is actually one of the most cool plugins you can find for free from Video Copilots, and this plugin has been out a very long time ago, but not so many people are actually talking about it. So if you go to Google and search, you'll see right here, new plugin Saber, now available 100% free. So you can go and check it out. My internet is not so good right now. I don't know if it will open. Will it open?
Turn on the vibe.
So once you get your hands on it, just go ahead and download it and install it. And when you come to effects, after you open up your After Effects software and searching for Saber, you'll actually find it right here. You can see it's right here. Let's just create here a new composition, right? This is going to be my main composition, okay? And I'm going to set it to 10 seconds, highlight all of this and type in 1,000. And you can see it's 10 seconds right there. Press OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and create a new solid right here, and this is going to be a completely black solid. Okay, so as to help out with the blending modes later on. So I'm going to choose the ellipse tool right here, click on Control and drag so I can create here a circle, or you can actually press Shift and create a perfect circle right here. So this is my perfect circle right here. Okay, right click on my solid, go to transform and center anchor point in layer. So my anchor point is right on the middle right here. Then I'm going right click again on my solid right here, and I'm going to center in view, so you can see it's right on the center. So as you can see, I've put in a transparent display right here. I'm going to turn this off. What I'm going to do now is take my Saber plugin and put it on my solid. As you can see now, on the effects controls, right? On the effects controls, we have the Saber plugin, but you can see it's a bit weird right now. It's actually just like a saber. If you have watched Star Wars, this is where Video Copilot took out the idea. It's actually gonna come in default as a saber, because in the beginning they used to animate the saber, you know, like sha hiya hiya ha ha hiya. You see? So you can see right here we have different controls here. We have the preset here shows you different types of sabers you can choose from. You can see there are so many different presets you can choose from. I pretty like I like neon. You can see you can actually disable the glow. You can leave just the core to display, or you can turn on the glow. And you know why turn off the glow? I mean, this Saber plugin gets its magic from the glow that comes in with the saber, because the saber is pretty much fire and flame and light. It also involves glowing. No, that's not a hard concept to get, right? So you can actually choose the glow color here. You can make it white, you can make it red. Below here you have the glow settings. You know, you can choose the glow intensity. You can choose the spread, how much you want your glow to actually spread. Do you want it not to spread at all? Do you want to have some kind of spread? The core setting is pretty much when you turn off the glow. So let me like change this back to neon. Okay, neon right here. Okay, I'm going to turn off glow. As you can see now, we have this line of color here. This is the actual core. This is what light illuminates from. Okay, so here you have different settings, like you can change the core size. You can actually make it fade away. You can make the core as large as possible. You can see like right here, it's absolutely like a cylinder. The core start and core end, it's actually these points right here. When you click here, you can see it shows you like it's these points. So if you click here, it will, you know, the core end. This is the core end. You can change it like this. You know, you can just do you can just change it to however you want. Okay, just below these settings right here, you can see we have more settings when it comes to customizing this core right here. So you can see like customize core. Now if you click on this arrow, down arrow right here, you have different settings. The core type right here, now it's put in default, which is Saber, which is this line that we have been playing around with. Okay, Now when you click here, you can see you have different options. Okay, you have the layer masks, you have the text layer, and all of these can be used to your advantage. Now this is where our solid that we created from the beginning with this beautiful mask right here comes in place. So when you click layer masks, you actually activate the masks. All the masks that are on your solid are going to be activated with the Saber plugin. Now you can see, even if I take this pen tool, right, and select my solid and create a rough mask right here, okay, it too will have the Saber plugin. Okay, like you can create different shapes. You don't have to create like the standard shapes that you find. You can create this. Okay, yeah. Anyway, right now we have this black solid which we have the Saber plugin put in place, and once we have just selected this layer mask, you can see our mask is activated. Now the previous settings that I showed you can all be affected by this layer mask right here. Okay, so if I change the color, it will change to white. If I change the core size, you know, like make it small, and increase the intensity and increase the spread, you see, like all these settings will apply to the masks that we have. Now just below these options right here, you have different very good settings that you can play around. So for example, you have the start size, and you have the settings from for the starting of the masks, and you have settings for the end of the masks. Okay, and you can see right here, as you can, the start size is 100% and the end size is 100%, which makes this even shape right here. So like if I disable this and put it back here, you can see the start. Okay, the start of the core is right here. This is essentially what we mean when you say the start of the start size. Okay, so if you change the start size to like 0, you can see it gets narrowed down, and the end size is a bit bigger. So if you are creating like steroids, if you are creating like shooting star effects, you can actually play around with these settings to get an effect like this. But and also this works the same if you increase the value. You can see the value increases, and if you go to the end size and decrease, the end size right here, and decrease it to 0, you can see it changes direction, and the end is actually smaller than the start size. So by default it's 100%. The start size is 100%. The end size is also 100%. So yeah, so the offset here is actually changes where the size it displays. So let me say like the start size is 200. Okay, now we have this, but I changed the offset, so right now it's 0%. If you change the offset, you can see that it changes from where the point is. So if I move this point like right here and change the offset, you can see the saber also changes. So you can actually use this to animate. Okay, like if I press this stopwatch right here and select my solid, click U on my keyboard so I can get the keyframes here and move forward in time. If I change this offset right here, if I come back and play this, you can see it's now animated. Okay, you can use the stopwatches and the keyframes to animate these different default settings. It's pretty much as you like. So another setting that I want to show you that is really cool is the glow settings that are on this alpha mode. Okay, so let's go back and select our layer mask so we can have this illuminated. Change the start size back to 100, and now you pretty much have this even circle, right? So you can see right now the core is glowing both from the inside and from the outside. Okay, but with the alpha modes here, you can actually change, okay, the core. You can actually just create a mask core to glow. Okay, now you can see like only the mask core glows. Okay, and now you can the mask core, and you can say mask glow. Okay, and now the mask is glowing from the inside. You can see like this is our mask, right? Double click, we have our mask right here, and right now it's in add, which means it has cut inside this mask. So everything that glows will be glowing inside this mask. If I change this to subtract, you can see it glows from the outside. So the glow of the saber tends to change its behavior based on the mask settings. So I put this back to add, and yes, and you can disable, and the saber will just display in default. Okay, but you can change the mask glow to glow from this side, or you can change the mask core so that just the core itself is glowing, but it doesn't it doesn't go equivalent to the mask boundaries. Okay, very good, very nice. So let's go ahead and create something nice with this one. Okay, and for today for today's tutorial, I'm going to create just a simple hologram HUD. Okay, so go ahead and create our solid one more time and select our ellipse tool right here. Also activate the grid, and so we can have our measurements accurate here. So click, make sure your solid is selected, click here on the screen and drag to create a rounded rectangle tool. Okay, you can see we have 3 lines on that side, we have 2 lines on 2 rows. Okay, yep. So yes, now you can't see anything because the solid is black and everything is black, but just go ahead and create and put in our Saber plugin. So as I showed you before, go and select layer masks. We are going to change here the colors to light blue. Is this light blue? Yeah, whatever. So yeah, so also, okay, deactivate the grid so we can see what we are working with here. So what you want to do is reduce the intensity to 25. I've just kept it to 25, but it's not like it's not like you're supposed to put 25 every time. Like, play around with it and experiment and see what settings work for you. Right now, select our solid, select the pen tool, and now we are going to change this setting, this shape here, and make it more interesting. As I showed you that any mask changes that you put, the Saber plugin is going to behave according to your layer mask. Okay, so because this is the screen right here, come to alpha modes here and change and make mask glow, so we can have the screen glowing on the inside, because what we are creating right now is actually a screen. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, select our solid, we have the pen tool selected, and activate the grid one more time. And what we are going to do now is actually make this look a bit more cooler. Okay, so I'm going to add a point here, a mask point. I'm going to add another mask point here. I'm gonna go ahead forward like right here, add another mask point here, and another mask point right here. Will that be enough? I'm going to add 2 more mask points here, just in between these. Okay, right here. Click V on your keyboard, or click on this selection tool, highlight the four mask points in between, and click the left arrow so we can move it inside like this. See, what I want to is just create a beautiful shape right here, you know, yeah, like right there. Okay, just like that. We're going to create the same thing on top right here. So put a mask point here. Sorry about that. Make sure our solid is selected. Put a mask point right here. Put a mask point right here. Another mask point right here, and another mask point right here. Okay. Okay. Now select the mask points in between and move them down. Okay. Now you can see right now the way it's behaving right now. Okay. This is why on this one I kept 2 mask points. Okay. So because you can, if you add a mask point in between, like right here and right here, you can actually use the arrows to reshape this, okay? Like the down arrow and the left and right arrows. See, you can reshape it. Now we have something like this. This is cool, man. I mean, if you deactivate the grid and see, like, this is we're getting somewhere, right? We are getting somewhere. So we want to take the ellipse tool, right? This ellipse tool, and we are gonna click here, and right now we're gonna create a new solid. Create a new solid. Press OK, and blind it for a while, but make sure it's selected, so when we draw a mask, it actually cuts this solid that is blinded for now. Okay, so click, hold, and drag. Press shift on our keyboard so we can have a perfect circle, like right here. Okay, and the good thing is you can actually use the same Saber settings here. So let's activate this. So we have our mask right here. Okay, I'm going to move it up, like right here. Select our previous solid of our screen and select the Saber. Okay, we have our Saber selected. Press Ctrl C to copy it. Select our new mask and Ctrl V to paste it. Okay. Now make sure to right click on this, because now we see nothing. Make sure to go on this and get blending mode and select add. We have here our Saber settings from our previous solid baked into this new solid. So what we're gonna do now is just change a little things, like maybe change the color. I'm going to make this white and change this, make it back to mask core. I'm going to put it to disable this, and now we have something like this. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is try to animate this Saber effect for you so you can see how this works. Okay, so remember the start size and start end settings that I showed you earlier. So this is where it comes in hand. Okay, I'm gonna increase the start size to 200. Okay, and I'm gonna decrease the end size to like 50. Okay, and now we have something like this. Okay, and now it's a little bit harsh, so let's like change the intensity and the spread. Wanna change the core size back down a bit, like right here. Okay, now go to the beginning of your timeline, right, and go to mask evolution and click the stopwatch right here. Now select your solid, click U on your keyboard so we can have the keyframes. Okay, now go forward in time like 1 second right here, because our timeline is like 2 seconds. Okay, now what I want you to do is change this this value right here, this 0.0 to 360. Okay, 360. Okay, and now when you scroll back, you'll have something like this. Okay, so cool, right? So what we're gonna do right now is highlight our keyframes. All right, and we are going to click F9 to make them easy ease. Okay, and what you're gonna do is click this property tool right here. You see this property pick whip, just click it and you can see our values now are turned into red. Now click this arrow and you'll see that you have this expression language menu right below. For those who don't know like the expressions, like you can type in the expression, this is the very simple way to put in expressions into your animation. So come here and you have you'll go straight to properties and choose loop out circle. Now loop out circle, what it's going to do is it's going to animate it's going to take our animation and loop it out from the beginning of our animation to the end of the timeline, like into infinity. Looping, it will loop in from the beginning of a time frame up to where our keyframes are, and then it will end. So for example, if my keyframes are not at the beginning here of the timeline, they are a bit forward, and I put loop in, it will animate from the beginning up to where my keyframes are, and it will stop. But loop out, it will animate from where my keyframes begin to infinity. So go to property and click loop out circle. I'll put up a tutorial about this animation expressions, and you guys can go and check it out soon, hopefully. Okay, just if you want that, just make sure you put it comment down below. So loop out circle, okay, and here we have the expressions typed in for you, and click anywhere on your timeline. Now let's play this and see. You can see now our animation, right? You can do the same thing on this screen. Like, you can go back, change the start size, like to 50. You can actually put any number you like, you know, it's your choice. Okay, so put like 50 right there, and then go to mask evolution, like right here. Click U on your keyboard so we can get the expressions. Go like let's say 4 seconds, and type in 360 so we can get a full rounded animation, okay, if that's the word. Click again here on the pick whip tool, okay, and it will turn our values here to red. Down arrow, go to this expression menu, go to properties and loop out circle, and click anywhere on your keyboard. Now we have, you see, this kind of animation. All the settings that you put into the Saber, you can actually copy and paste it into a new mask. So take this screen right here, and I'm going to draw another mask. You can see once I draw the mask, it immediately activate the tool. Okay, you see, now when you play it back, you can see instantly everything is animated here. Okay, and now we just got ourselves a very good hologram screen. Okay, now what you want to do right now is press Ctrl Shift C to pre-comp everything, move everything here into this pre-comp, and now this is actually one thing. Okay, like if you turn it into 3D right now, you see you can actually play around with this as one simple screen here. You can scale it back, you know, you can change the orientation here, like, okay, like duplicate this. Make sure to always change back the blending modes to add, because it will retain the background solid. Okay, so always make sure to change this back. You can play around with this, and you can put this in, compose this into your projects. I've actually used this in many things. You can use this in your music videos, you can use this in your movies, your sci-fi movies, horror movies, because you have a lot of presets to play around with. You got all these presets here. You can actually change all these presets here to anything that you want. Guys, go out there and create something awesome with this.